This is a tangle called Cobblescroll. I begin all of our tangles with gratitude and appreciation for the paper, the pen, ability to breathe, find things to be grateful for, take some deep breaths, inhale, gratitude, joy, things that make you happy, and on the exhale, get rid of all the junk and the things that aren't going to serve your self-care time, the time to take out time for you. Now with light pressure with the pen and in holding the pen, you're going to make a spiral. And once that spiral has as many layers as you want, you're going to connect that spiral over to another spiral, again with as many layers as you want. And on the first spiral on the right, on the outside of that spiral, you're going to bring a line down from the inside and a line down from the outside. Make sure you don't go all the way up to the top. And on the left-hand side, you're going to do it with the one that's on the farthest on the outside. Now on the two lines on the far right, I'm going to connect them at the bottom, and the one on the left is going to be a little bit shorter, and I'm going to connect it so it goes a little more than halfway down the scroll on the right. Now we're going to begin bringing our lines down, okay? And bringing the lines down from the spiral are what make it look like rounded paper or scroll. So all we're going to do is take and bring lines down from each side to the first line that they meet. And this begins to make this beautiful scroll pattern. And take your time in doing this. Make sure you breathe, relax your shoulders, no biting your cheek, tongue off the roof of your mouth. Now for me, I decided in the center of this to do a couple of muka next to each other that create a heart. When I think of scrolls, I think of Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, the Tudor era, love. So I thought I would put a heart in the center of this scroll. You can put writing, you can put tangles, you can put whatever you want. And then I put another tangle in here, and the tutorial for this tangle will be also put up today. And we're simply just taking lines, curved or straight. We're going to do them in one direction and then in the other direction. And then wherever they meet, we're going to connect all four lines. And I do this in kind of a curved diamond shape. So I connect each line with a slightly curved line and then make this diamond shape. And I do this across the whole thing. Then I decided the background of this would be cobblestone, which is also known as Crazy and Zeppel. I do have a tutorial for that. You all know it as cobblestone. And you can do a different tangle in the background if you like, but on this live, this just happens to be what we did. So this is what the tutorial is that I made for this. And the tutorial for the tangle I'm doing right now on the scroll will be coming up next. So I do this over the whole page, the whole scroll, I mean. Make sure you're breathing, don't hold your breath, light with the pen in holding it and with the pressure. Now I begin Crazy and Zeppel, which is the cobblestone. And you can do this in lines that are all one direction and then the other direction so that it's a very uniform cobblestone. I rarely do that because I rarely come across cobblestone walkways or anything that seem to be pretty uniform and perfect. So I really like to do Crazy and Zeppel, which is a cobblestone with various sizes of cobblestone. Now the cobblestones that are around the parchment scroll, those lines that are coming out of that will not be rounded because they're going underneath the scroll. All the other ones, you will ink the line, round the corner, ink the line, round the corner, and you will continually re-ink those lines. That is very important because that re-inking the line makes each cobblestone its individual cobblestone. Some will have darker lines than others. Some will have been re-inked more than one time. But it's very important to breathe. Light pressure with the pen and light holding the pen. Anytime we re-ink lines, draw lines, those are all very important because I believe that the journey throughout the tangle is more important than the tangle itself. Whether you're doing the tangle for creativity, for drawing, for art, whether you're doing it for meditation, anxiety relief, stress relief, whatever the reason you're doing the tangle for, it's for you, it's for self-care. So I think the journey to the end of the tangle is the most important part. The tangle is the bonus at the end. So again, all we're doing is inking each line, rounding the corner, re-inking. Then I take graphite, and for the Crazy and Zeppel, I essentially just take the pencil, and it's a regular pencil, and I just take it down each line. Now I decided to ink the areas in between all of the lines. And the reason there's a space there is, remember, we round each cobblestone, right? So there's always this little amount of space usually where they all connect. So I'm just inking those. After I ink all of those, then I will go ahead and graphite them. And all I do is run the graphite down the line. I blend it with a tortillon. I don't really push the graphite anywhere. I keep it right on the line because that really shows where the crack in between the cobblestones are. It makes a huge difference. Now, when I use graphite in this light, graphite is shiny, so sometimes you'll just see shine. So many times in my tutorials, I will turn the light off so that you can see it. Now I heavy shade around the whole scroll. The reason is I want the scroll to be lifted off the paper. So if I do the heavy shading behind the scroll, it will look as though it is off the paper. So I do that, and then I put a little bit on each of the lines of floors, which is on the parchment scroll itself. Then I maybe shade a few of the cobblestones. A part that you didn't see is I did put at the very end, I added some cracks in the cobblestone, which is just taking a very light shaky pen and putting some nice little cracks on each cobblestone. And you can get as heavy into graphiting these stones as you want. You can do less if you want. It is completely up to you. This is yours. So for me, tangling is about the journey to the end of the tangle. It's my meditation. For me, it's anxiety relief, stress relief. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying it cures anxiety or any of those things. See your doctor. But for me, tangling is about the journey to get to the end of the tangle, and the tangle is a bonus. So the repetitive nature of a tangle, for me, it just takes all the junk out of my mind. Tangle on.